Peter Hill Explains, where I invite you to join the science teaching conversation with me about DNA hard drive, a reading from New Scientist magazine, 7th of July 2018, and this is part of General Cardiac Rehab to learn to read more fluently. The World's Smallest Hard Drive by Andrew Rosenblum. Can commercial DNA data storage succeed? Big data could be about to get much smaller. Catalog, a startup based in Harvard's Life Lab, has announced plans for the first commercial DNA storage service. The company says that it has developed a way to cheaply store a terabyte of data, or equivalent to 40 Blu-rays, in a DNA pellet. Using DNA as data storage medium has long held appeal thanks to the durability and density. Oh, I think not. Good God, DNA just breaks up all the time with X-rays. If kept cool and dry, DNA can reliably last for hundreds of years. Okay, I'm contradicted. So a vast data center could be replaced by an ordinary refrigerator. But currently, technology makes it prohibitively expensive. For example, Twist's Biosciences of San Francisco can create DNA strands that hold a mere 12 megabytes, enough for a handful of MP3s at the cost of $100,000. The catalog's chief science officer, Devin Lee, says the firm can do much better. From 2019, the firm says it will offer a terabyte worth of DNA encoded data in a gram-sized pellet. More significantly, compared to other DNA synthesis approaches, our cost is 5 orders of magnitude lower. Okay, it's only $10 there. But the company will need to bring the cost down much further to compete with the price of cloud storage of tape, which Amazon currently sells for less than a penny per gigabyte each month. Co-founder Han-Yun Park says the catalog's prices hinge on a new approach. Rather than encoding a string of DNA into a single DNA molecule, it produces a small core alphabet on DNA sequences that correspond to snippets of binary data that can be pulled together into much larger files. Think of it this way: instead of writing every single word of a book by hand, the catalog method uses a pre-made strands like typeface letters in printing press. Synthesizing 13 sets of 9 molecules, for example, would permit 9 to the 13 different possibilities, or more than 2 trillion data sequences. This incremental cost of printing a different book much lower because we already have the typefaces, said Park. We just have to arrange them differently. Park says Catalog is currently building a machine to do this arrangement efficiently, but wouldn't reveal exactly how it works. It's based on a strand piece of equipment called a liquid handler, used to automatically place liquids into designated containers, but designed to perform many more parallel operations. Reinhard Hankel, who studies DNA storage at Rice University in Houston, Texas, says it's difficult to know whether such dramatic improvements in cost and speed are possible in the near future until Catalog publishes the research or reveals what the technology is based on. The firm would need to generate DNA molecules many orders of magnitude faster and cheaper than what people have been able to do in recent published research, he says. I'm curious to see what the technology is and whether it can really, as promised, be scaled up significantly. It's already exciting to see entrepreneurial activity in this space, said Lucas Sayers of the University of Washington. The catalog uses a library of pre-made strands that has potential to achieve cost savings, he says, but needs sophisticated fluid handling machine to manipulate the many strands required. I look forward to hearing more about Catalog's magic. In addition to the high cost of writing, DNA storage does have another downside. It's slow to read back the data once it's been encoded. In February, Krez and his colleagues achieved new heights by showing they could access random sections from within 200 megabytes of DNA encoded in data without having to read all the 13 million nucleotides that make up the data trove. The limitation means the catalog's first customers are likely to be companies or government agencies that need long-term storage rather than instant access files, says Park. This could include confidential records or video footage that needed to be kept on site rather than on distant cloud servers. Park also notes that the IARPA, the research arm of the US intelligence community, has issued a challenge to develop new forms of molecular storage, including DNA, which would indicate future potential customers. Another podcast, another story comes to a close. It's been a pleasure sharing this moment in time with you. May you discover truly amazing things, understand them, and tell others. Thanks for listening.